I do this to myself? This is going to be so hard. Okay, oops. Let's do this. So I first want to just lay some different colors down. So I'm going to take some of the red and I'm going to make a couple of layers of red just so I can really get a feel for how everything's gonna lay. So we'll layer down a couple of these reds, and then I'm thinking we should do a couple of the carmine because we do have to do purple for Kiki. I know I'm gonna need a cooler red mixed down for the blue to make a purple. So like I said, the theory for this is clearly if I lay transparent colors on top of transparent colors, I should be able to mix the correct hue. So we're just gonna, I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I'm really just dabbling, playing around with the watercolors and trying to push just how far I can take them before it makes absolutely no sense. I don't want to cheat when it comes to mixing these colors because I think that would just defeat the whole purpose of dabbling and testing if I can mix directly on the paper. Like I could just take the purple and layer it, but that would be too easy, right? And it would make the piece seem a little less cohesive. As we can tell, something's going on with this little corner piece. But we're gonna try to mix a little bit of blue onto the magenta because I know that mixing technically a blue here should yield a more purple option, what I'm going for, but also this is not turning out that well. Oh man. I think I'm gonna need the palette just to like put the colors on and then mix because I think it's just a little too complicated trying to mix it directly onto the paper, like taking it like this. Like I'm still layering it on the paper, but now I can kind of control the pigment load and how much pigment is laying there, which I think it's working out. Like here you can clearly see the yellow on top of the blue to make that green for like the grass. Like I'm getting purple, but I'm not. I'm getting orange, but I'm not. I'm getting green, but I'm not. It seems like with this piece, layering is gonna be a little complicated because one, these do lift back up. It's not like acrylic inks that are more solid once they go down. We've dabbled, I get it. We're gonna be layering back and forth. So let's grab a palette. It shouldn't be too hard. I mean, I really like how the sketch came out, so I really don't want to mess it up. So as I touched on before, the rules for this challenge are pretty simple. You're just going to take the 6 colors, or 7 colors technically. You get 2 reds, 2 blues, and 2 yellows, and then you can choose either black. I personally chose Payne's Gray, and that is it. You cannot mix these colors in your palette. The only way you can mix them are creating layers on your paper like you see I'm doing in the video. You might be asking, well, how does this work? How it works is watercolors are transparent. We know this because that is the perk of using watercolors. You get this beautiful transparency that allows the white from the paper to shine through, and it is amazing. I love watercolors. But the technique that we're using today is called glazing. What glazing is, it's just taking a thin transparent layer of watercolor and layering it on top of another color to mix the color you're desired. So like for the ground, I put a layer of yellow, I let it dry as I was doing other things, and then I put a layer of blue, which when you look closely at the painting, you can see that yellow on the paper and the blue in separate pigments, but your brain makes it up into the correct color, which is green, and it just creates this really cohesive and warm feeling to the painting in my eyes. So I really enjoy glazing techniques. I really recommend that you guys try it. If you haven't, I'm going to be incorporating it in almost all of my painting techniques now because it just allows for a lot more control over how your painting comes out. What I really liked about this painting technique is I went in and laid out all my shadows. It made it much easier to remember where the highlights were and where the shadows were supposed to be. And I think with layering the shadows for the characters first and then painting over that, over time it makes the painting, that underpainting really shine through without overtaking putting a dull color on top of a vibrant color, if that makes sense. So what I disliked about this is the amount of layers it took. I did a rough count. I kind of forgot some layers, but it took roughly about 203, 201 layers of painting, which is a lot. And I'm not counting like overall layers across the paper. It's layers that I had to do per separate character and everything. But it came up to like 203 layers. And I painted for 3 hours straight. And not to mention, I don't have to wait for the paper to dry in between simply because I have a heat gun. So to explain that it took 3 hours to do this, it's a long time, but I think it really paid off. That's all I can say is if you don't want to take a lot of time to do your painting, I probably wouldn't try this. But if you love how this painting came out, it's so playful and fun, I definitely recommend trying and seeing what you can come up and just see how it goes. But yeah, so that's pretty much everything that I came across in terms of the challenge. Also, like the color, you gotta have color theory to do this. That's one thing. You have to have color theory to figure out how to do this. If you do not, you are going to struggle. So maybe learn color theory before you go in with glazing and figure that out. So I just wanted to give out a big announcement for anybody who hasn't been following on the website. If you go to shoprubyporter.com, you can get official prints of my artwork there. I do all of the printing and shipping myself. It's official now. I have some really cute stickers. It's kind of late for Halloween, but it also is never too late. And I made these cute little Frankenstein stickers. And I've got prints, I've got pins on the way, so do look up for that update. But if you struggle with mixing and you want to upgrade your painting skills to the next level, you should check out this video here and it'll teach you everything you need to know.